everyone. What a lovely evening to all of you. And here I am, Miss Hope Treasury, going to lecture you with mental studies for tonight class. Okay. So, how was your day? I hope you had a great day today. Yay. အားလုံးပဲမင်္ဂလာညချမ်းပါ Okay, so I hope you all had a great day today. Well, tonight I'm going to lecture you in English only. And then also intermittent explanation of Burmese language while I'm explaining in English. So I hope you gonna enjoy this lesson. I'm gonna enjoy this lecture for tonight's class. Okay, cool. So let's get started. Okay, so any. And I was late for, I would just say 40 minutes, and I do apologize for that. Okay, so let's get started. So tonight I want to share with you about mental health studies. It's about behavior and also introduction and so on and so forth. Okay, so let's get started. Yeah. So as an introduction, so today people live in a fast-paced, fast-changing world. So daily, we are assailed by a series of crises ranging from international relations relating to the nuclear arms race and the threat of war to domestic issues such as employment opportunities and crime in the streets, environmental pollution, and the spiraling upward cost of living. ဒီချက်ခုပြောသွားတဲ့အရာကိုမြန်မာလိုနည်းနည်းပါးတော့ပြန်ပြောပြမှာဖြစ်တယ် and then I'm going to give you some notes လေးနည်းနည်းပေးမယ်ဒီချက်ပြောသွားတဲ့အရာတွေကဟုတ်ပြီနော် so ဒီနေ့ပထမဆုံးဒီသင်မယ့်အရာကတော့ mental health study စိတ်ပိုင်းဆိုင်ရာနဲ့ပတ်သက်တဲ့အကြောင်းအရာကို lecture လုပ်သွားမှာဖြစ်တယ်ဒါကတော့ဒီချက်ကိုယ်တိုင်psychology ဘာသာရပ်တွေသင်ယူခဲ့ရတော့ကအဲ့ဒီအရာနဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးတော့လဲဆက်လင်းပြီးတော့မျှဝေခြင်းဖြစ်ပါတယ်လို့ okay နော် yeah so this is the one that I'm going to give you notes, which is we are assailed by a series of crises, isn't it? So our life is usually assailed by a lot of crises these days, and politics crisis. So here is the one that I just posted it for you. So I'm going to pin it for you. And there's another one. And also, it's including the nuclear arms race, the one that I just told you. And its spiraling upward cost of living. So you are not only learning the knowledge of what I'm going to talk about, mental health, but also the word, the vocabulary that you can pick it up from here. Okay. So here it is. Hello, yes, Starshine, hi. So spiraling upward cost of living. There are, why do I give life? Okay, just give pin. Just hit it. I forgot to cross post just now. Never mind. All right. So yeah. So let's get started again. So we are assailed by a series of crises. အခုဆိုရင်เนาะကျမတို့ခုနေထိုင်တဲ့ကမ္ဘာကတကယ်ကိုအရင်ကိုအပဲရမဆိုရင်တကယ်ကိုအမြန်ပဲအကုန်လုံးရွေ့ရှားနေကြတာဖြစ်တယ်ဟုတ်ပြီနော်ဒီချက်မြန်မာလိုရှင်းတဲ့အရာကတော့နည်းနည်းလေးအထင်ငေါရှိရဆိုရှင်တော့ခွင့်လွှတ်ပါလို့ဟုတ်ပြီနော်ပြီးလို့ရှိရင်ကိုရဲ့အခုဒီနယ်ပယ်ထဲမှာဆိုလို့ရှိရင်လည်းအများတန်းเนาะဒီပြဿနာတွေ crisis တွေအများတန်းရှိနေတာဖြစ်တယ်အဲ့ဒါလေးနဲ့ချက်ကအစပြလိုက်တာဖြစ်တယ် okay So dinyama kunaga is like assailed by a series of crises means that you've been influenced and then a spiraling upward cost of living ဆိုတာကနေထိုင်မှုကလည်းအရန်ကိုတခုံတို့မြင့်တက်နေခြင်းကိုပြောတာဖြစ်တယ်နေထိုင်မှု 共价值一点。So we'll just say, now let's continue, okay? So the list of situations with which we all deal on a daily basis is endless and mind-boggling. Okay, so a daily basics is endless and mind-boggling. Okay, this is the one that I'm going to give it to you, this word and the notes, so that you could be able to learn something from here as well. So I just posted it for you. So I'm going to pin it for you. So endless and mind-boggling. So you can check this word later on. Let me continue, okay? And so that I don't want to waste any of any minute. Well, it's mind-boggling is something which is occupying your mind and fooling your mind with many thoughts and many things, influencing your mind with many things. Okay, so additionally, and we must deal with more personal situations such as working while managing a household, or some of the parents, they are giving care to children and getting the laundry done and shopping for food, etc. Well, usually we all cope with our situations successfully sometimes. However, we feel overwhelmed, right? And we become mentally ill. We become exhausted, both mentally and physically. Perhaps a physical problem, an accident, or a chemical imbalance in the body causes mental illness. So many people have brief periods of mental illness, and then they seem to recover completely. And others, they suffer from mental disorders from most of their lives. So, regardless of the cause or the duration of the mental illness, it is important for you to be able to recognize, and also you got to treat or refer for treatment any individual with mental health difficulties. Well, I'm not going to explain much in Burmese since this is the English lecture, so try to catch it up. Okay, cool. Right, but I'm gonna post some notes for you, so that you will have some a hint what I'm saying, and if, let's say, if you miss out some of the words that I'm saying, you will get what I'm going to say or what I have said. So I'll just say, we feel overwhelmed, and sometimes it could be an accident or chemical imbalance in the body causes mental illness. So I'm going to post the some of the important factors. Okay, so just posted it for you. I just pin it. Okay, well, it's not even. Okay, just pin it for you. All right. Okay, so and then also other sufferers mental disorders for most of their lives, so on and so forth. Okay, so it's important for you to treat, recognize, and treat or refer for treatment any individual with mental health difficulties. Okay, so now let's talk about intense psychological processes. So, what is the meaning of intense psychological? Sorry, yeah, not psychological, physiological. Sorry. Um, okay, sorry. It's called intense physiological processes. I'm gonna post it for you. So intense physiological processes. So what is the meaning of intense physiological processes? Have you ever heard of this word before? What do you think? It's something to do with physio plus logical. So what is the meaning of it? The combination of these two words, physio and logical, and that becomes the process. So what is the meaning of it? Okay, so let's get down to this meaning. So, well, these physiological processes are continually taking place in our, yes, human body. Okay, hang on. So, any disturbance or change from the delicate homeostatic balances in the body will result in severe consequences for the individual. So, that word, I'm going to post this word for you, delicate homeostatic. It's got to do with your physical body, I'm gonna post this for you. Just pin it for you. Homeostatic. Okay, homeostatic. Well, so this delicate homeostatic balances in the body, well, it could happen, it would give results to the individual. So correct diagnosis, excuse me, and correct treatment are both necessary to remedy the situation. So တော့ခုနကဒါလေးမြန်မာလိုနည်းနည်းပြန်ပြောပြပေးမယ်ဒါလေးကနည်းနည်းလေးရှုပ်နေချင်လို့ဆိုတော့ခုနကအဲ့ဒီ homeostatic ဆိုတဲ့နော်အဲ့ဒီ body ကို harm ဖြစ်စေတဲ့အရာက changes ရှိမယ်ပြောင်းလဲမှုတွေရှိနေမယ်အနောက်ရှက်ရှိရဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ဒါကတယောက်စီတိုင်းအတွက်သူ့ရဲ့ mental health မှာ problem ရှိတာဖြစ်တယ်ဒါကြောင့်အဲ့ဒီဟာကိုတေချာကုသဖို့ရန်အတွက်လိုအပ်တာဖြစ်တယ်အဲ့အကြောင်းလေးကိုပြောထားတာဖြစ်တယ် okay right so let's carry on with the next topic. Okay, so now let's talk about behavior. So, what is the meaning of behavior and what is the term for behavior? Well, when you look at this word in dictionary, behavior means the word behavior can be defined as the manner in which an individual acts or functions. So I'm going to give this definition to you. Well, there are other thousands of definitions towards this word behavior. Well, I'm talking about the behavior of the child or behavior of someone in your classroom. So let's look at this one. So this is the definition that I just posted it. I just printed it for you. Okay. So, well, the term normal behavior is a little more difficult to define. So, the society in which a person lives defines normal behavior for that individual. So, although it is very difficult to define normal behavior, it is possible to list some characteristics of normal behavior. Okay, so I just talked about some characteristics of normal behavior. So, behaviors တွေကတစ်ခုနဲ့တစ်ခုကွဲပြားတယ်ဆိုတဲ့အကြောင်းကိုတစ်ချက်ခုနကပြောသွားပေးတာဖြစ်တယ် Okay. So now let's talk about behavior and culture. So behavior and culture. So behavior considered normal in the society may be considered totally abnormal in another society. အဲ့တော့တချို့ပြုမှုတွေကဒီယဉ်ကျေးမှုမှာဆိုလို့ရှိရင်တော့လက်ခံနိုင်တယ်ဒါပေမဲ့တခြားယဉ်ကျေးမှုမှာဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ဒီလိုအပြုမှုဟာလုံးဝလက်ခံနိုင်စရာအကြောင်းမရှိဘူးတကယ်ကိုလုံးဝတာမန်မဟုတ်နေဘူးတွေ့ဖင်နေတယ်လို့ပြောကောင်းပြောလိမ့်မယ် So let's say I'm going to give you an example. So driving a car on the right side of the road in England or in Myanmar would not be normal behavior since that group of people drive on the left side of the road. ဆိုတော့မြန်မာပြည်မှာဆိုရင်အခုကကားမောင်းတဲ့ဟာမှာဆိုရင်ညာမောင်းတာလေ and then England မှာလည်းအဲ့လိုပဲအဲ့တော့အဲ့ဒါကိုတခြားနိုင်ငံကဘယ်မောင်းတဲ့ဘက်ဆိုရင်ဒီအရာဒီပုံမှန်မဟုတ်ဘူးလို့ယူဆမှာဖြစ်တယ် Cool that's how the behavior differs ဒါကဘယ်လို behavior ကွဲပြားလဲဆိုတာကိုပြောချင်တာဖြစ်တယ် So I'm going to give you another example နောက်ထပ်ဥပမာတစ်ခုပြောမယ်ဆိုရင် another example of normal behavior driving an automobile so as I was saying, a driver in the United States automatically or instantly drives on the right side of the road unless otherwise directed, which is normal behavior. So let's talk about behavior and cultural differences. So in another examples demonstrating cultural differences, well, a man, one man, or man, a group of men, right, who sit most of the day staring at the sun, staring at the sun, staring at the sun, considered to be exhibiting normal behavior in India, where such men are believed to be holy. ဆိုတော့ဥမာအဖြစ်ဆိုရင်အဲ့လိုမျိုးအမျိုးသားတယောက်တော့မဟုတ်အမျိုးသားအုပ်စုလိုက်ကနေကိုအဲ့လိုမျိုးအဝေးနေကြီးကိုကားရဲပေါ့နော်လုံးဝကိုစိုက်ကြည့်နေရဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ဒါကအိန္ဒိယနိုင်ငံမှာဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ဒီအရာဒီဒါကလုံးဝဟိုပေါ့နော်ဒါကအရင်ကိုတန်ရှင်းမြင့်မြတ်တဲ့သူတွေပဲလုပ်တယ်ဆိုတဲ့အချက်နဲ့သူတို့ကယူဆတာဖြစ်တယ် But in the United States the same man would probably be thought to be, or just say deranged, perhaps lock up, or refer to a psychiatrist. Right ဒါပေမဲ့ United States မှာဆိုရင်အဲ့လိုသာလူတွေကအဲ့လိုလုပ်တယ်ဆိုရင်ဒီလူကိုစိတ်မနှံ့ဘူးလို့ပြောမှဖြစ်တယ်ဆိုတော့အဲ့ဟာလေးရဲ့ notes တွေကိုအခုပြင်ပေးလိုက်မယ် so some like probably be thought to be deranged or refer to a psychiatrist စိတ်ပညာဆရာဝန်ကိုပြောမှဖြစ်ကောင်းဖြစ်နိုင်တယ် or ပြကောင်းဖြစ်ကောင်းဖြစ်နိုင်တယ် right So I'm going to post, the reason I post this because it includes some vocabularies that would, you could have a take a look at it. So I just give it to you. So derange, perhaps lock up, or even referred to as a psychiatrist. Psychiatrist, someone who is dealing with your mental problem, mental health. I'm not very sure in here in Myanmar, but other countries are acceptable in going to psychiatrists, but here they would think that use when uni is a real like the word spreads and yeah, that's how it is. Okay, so let's continue. Right. So what now let's talk about the characteristics of normal behavior. So what are the characteristics of normal behavior? လူတစ်ယောက်ရဲ့ပုံမှန်ပြုလုပ်ခြင်းသင်ပြင်လက္ခဏာတွေဆိုတာဘာလဲ I'm going to give this note to you so that you would know what I'm talking and where I'm leading to. So I just posted it. I'm going to pin it for you. Okay, just pinned it for you. So characteristics of normal behavior. Well, let's talk about an individual. Okay, here it is. So this is this one individual. Okay, so an individual who behaves normally has the following attributes. Normal behavior လုပ်တဲ့လူတစ်ယောက်အနေနဲ့ဆိုရင်သူ့မှာဒီလိုမျိုးပုံစံမျိုးတွေရှိရတယ်ဒီလိုမျိုးပုံစံမျိုးတွေရှိတယ်ဥပမာပြပုံမှန်သူကလှုပ်လှုပ်ထားရှိသူတရားဆို well first one he is capable of changing his actions as the situation requires အခြေအနေတွေကလိုအပ်တယ်ဆိုရင်သူကလွှဲပြောင်းပြင်လုပ်နိုင်တယ် and he has insight into cause and effect he is able to understand that the cause of his dented car fender was running the red light and consequently being hit by another car right? So the second one is he knows what is cause and what is effect. And the third one is he is oriented to time, place, and person. Well, let's say he may not know the exact date without looking at a calendar, but he does know the month, year, and where he is. So that is the characteristics of normal behavior. I'm going to post this notes for you, the one that I just said as the title. So the first one is this one. And so he's capable of changing his actions. So pin it for you. And then the other one will be he has insight into cause and effect. So he knows what is the cause and the effect of his consequences or whatever things that he decided or whatever things that he has done or he or she is going to decide and what are the consequences that person would incur. So he knows what it will be. He or she knows. So he is insight into cause and effect. And the third one is he's oriented to time, place, and person. So မြန်မာလိုအကြံပြရှင်းပြမယ်ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်เนาะသူဘယ်ချိန်မှာပြောင်းလဲရမလဲဆိုရင်သူသိတယ်။နောက်ဒုတိယတစ်ခုကသူကအကျိုးအကြောင်းကိုသူစီလျော်ဆက်ဆက်တတ်တယ်။နောက်တစ်ခုကအချိန်နေရာနောက်ပြီးတော့လူပုဂ္ဂိုလ်သူသိတယ်။မှတ်မိကောင်းမှတ်မိချိန်မှာမှတ်မိလိမ့်မယ်။ဒီအခုချိန်မှာဆိုဒီချိန်နာရီမကြည့်ဘူးဆိုရင်ဒီချိန်နာရီဘယ်ချိန်ရောက်နေဆိုတော့သိချင်မှသိမယ်။ဒါပေမဲ့ဒီဟာဒီ2021ဆိုတဲ့အရာပေါ့သိတော့သိနေတယ်။အချိန်ဟာကိုသူက oriented တော့ဖြစ်တယ်။ So let's say if you're saying that I'm oriented to customer service So you're saying I'm oriented to customer service ငါကဝန်ဆောင်မှုကိုလုံးဝပိုင်နိုင်နေတယ်ဝန်ဆောင်မှုကိုလုံးဝသိကျွမ်းနေတယ်အဲ့ဝန်ဆောင်မှုထဲမှာအသိတကျွမ်းဖြစ်နေတယ်လို့ပြောချင်တယ်ဆိုရင် you can also say I'm oriented to customer service Okay, but anyway, I'm not going to talk, I'm not going to teach in English. I'm sorry, I'm not going to teach English, but since I'm talking in English, you can grab the knowledge and also plus language and also the information that I'm sharing. And well, it's kind of a lecture, so there you go. You are getting something. Okay, cool. So let's move on to the next one. So we'll talk about, well, normal behavior, blah blah blah. Okay, now let's move on to the normal behavior again with examples. So, well, normal behavior, his perception of reality is such that he knows who he is. So the first one is normal behavior ရှိရလို့ပြောဆိုရင်သူကဘယ်လိုလူလဲဆိုတာသူကသူသိတယ် Well, and also he may or may not know why he behaves as he does at all times. Usually he knows why. And his motivations are purposeful. Well, it's mean that he does not wander aimlessly wandering around what he doesn't want to achieve in life and like true life, but he's himself in control of himself and his environment. Well, major plans may include renting an apartment and then buying a house in the future. Well, more immediate plans may be, I would just say, go to a movie, with his friends, his or her friends, for entertainment and relaxation. So these are the normal behaviors. So it means the first one is his perception of reality, that he knows who he is. The second thing is his motivations are purposeful. အဲ့တော့ပြန်ပြီးအချုပ်ပြောမယ်ဆိုလို့ရှိရင် normal behavior ဖြစ်อยู่ကြောက်ကသူဘာလုပ်နေလဲဆိုတာသူသိတယ်သူဘယ်သူလဲဆိုတာသူသိတယ်နောက်ပြီးတော့သူ့ရဲ့စိတ်ပိုင်းဆိုင်ရာပေါ့သူတစ်ခုခုလုပ်ချင်တယ်လှုံ့ဆော်မှုတွေကအမြဲတမ်းရည်ရွယ်ချက်ရှိတယ်ရှောက်ပြီးတော့ဟိုလှုပ်ချင်တယ်လို့ဒီလှုပ်ချင်တယ်လို့နဲ့ဟိုဒါပေမဲ့ normal behavior ရှိရတဲ့သူတွေကဟုတ်ပြီနော်ဒါကြောင့်တငယ်ချင်းတွေနဲ့တွေ့တာတို့ပုံမှန်သွာလာလှုပ်ရှားနေခြင်းတွေရှိတယ်ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ဒါကပုံမှန် behavior ရှိရတဲ့လူလို့ပြောလို့ရတယ် Okay, I'm going to give this note to you. Just a minute. All right, so let's move on to the next one. So first, so good. Okay, now what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about human behavior defense mechanisms. We're going to talk about human behavior defense mechanisms. So what is defense mechanisms? Well, I'm going to post it for you. So this is a definition, so you can read it anywhere. It's the same thing. So this is a definition. Well, that's how people behave the good and bad things in life. So that is called defense mechanisms. Well, and also we live in a complicated world full of many pleasurable events, but also full of strains and hassles, isn't it? Strains and hassle. Strains and hassle means difficulties and tribulations. Tribulations is a word from the Bible, anyway, but it's strains and difficulties and hardships. These are the things that we usually encounter in life, isn't it? So, life strains include chronic conditions of living that are unsatisfactory, such as boredom, continuing family tension, job dissatisfaction, and loneliness. These are the life strains. So, full of strains and hassles. I'm going to write it down for you. So, this is some notes that you can note it down if you want. And since this is a lecture, I hope you will have an idea of what I'm saying and you'll be able to follow through my lecture. So, full of strains and hassles. So, just finished it for you. Well, as I was saying, life strains include boredom, boredomness, tension, well, hassles. So, what are the hassles? Well, hassles include irritating, frustrating, or distressing incidents that occur in everyday life, such as disagreements with fellow workers, colleagues, and pleasant surprises, well, such as traffic and losing a wallet with all your money, oil savings, and losing money, losing a wallet, or losing your bag, and losing something, and which gives you a headache for the week. So these are the things that you normally encounter in hassles. So life strains are something which is chronic conditions, and hassles could be something that would give you a spark of the moment you feel irritated, you feel frustrated, and that's how you show your frustration, which is hustles. Okay, now let's move on to the next one. Well, there is also another definition. It talks about defense or defense. Defense mechanisms are mental maneuvers, conscious or subconscious, performed by the ego, which is oneself. It's to decrease feelings of anxiety or stress. So that is also the another definition, which I found in one of the authors stated. So I'm gonna put it for you, so that you would have also have another meaning of this one. Just posted it for you. So this is the definition, okay? So that is from someone else, not from me. Just pin it for you. Okay, so now let's continue talking about defense mechanisms. Well, defense mechanisms begin to operate spontaneously and unconsciously when the self is threatened. Well, if there are too many emergencies for the self, the self is yourself, may overuse defense mechanisms with the result that the person does not really see reality. So defense mechanism is something like overprotecting yourself, not to feel anxiety or stress, or not to feel perilous, or someone who is trying to threaten you in some ways. So we all rationalize occasionally, and that is a good thing because rationalization can reduce stress. Rationalization. It is not a good thing to base all our judgments consistently on rationalizations that would be overused. So let's look at these specific defense mechanisms. Okay, specific defense mechanisms are just like this. The first one is denial of reality, repression, and rationalization, fantasy. Okay, I'm going to post it for you so that you can read it on your own as well. So these are the things which is quite common as specific defense mechanism. Okay. Okay. I was just looking at the that lizard, a buck behind me. All right, so these are the things you can have a look at it, and I'm going to explain some of them in Burmese. Well, I'm going to put it for you. So these are the defense mechanism. So it's repression, denial of reality, အမှန်တရားကိုငြင်းပယ်နေရအမှန်ကိုလက်မခံဘူးဟုတ်ပြီနော် and then it's like it's repressionဆိုတာအတင်းကိုအမြန်မာလေပြောမယ်ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်တော့အရန်ကိုတယောက်တစ်စုံတစ်ယောက်ကိုအတင်းအဓမ္မလှုပ်ဆောင်ခိုင်းနေရတယ် and then it's also another one is rationalization like ပြန်လည်ပြီးတော့ it's like something like ကိုကဘာကြောင့်ဒီလိုမျိုးလုပ်တာကိုယ့်ရဲ့ behavior ကဥပမာအဖြစ်ထားပါတော့ rationalization လုပ်တဲ့ဆိုငါဒီအသေးကွဲတဲ့အတွက်ကြောင့်ရက်တောက်တာဖြစ်တယ်အဲ့တော့အရက်တောက်တဲ့အရာကို you are trying to rationalize or rationalize you're trying to rationalize why you drink alcohol or alcohol ဘာကြောင့်တောက်လဲဆိုတဲ့ဟာကိုကိုကအဲ့ပေါ့နော် rationalize လုပ်ပြတယ်ဘာကြောင့်လဲဆိုလို့ရှိရင်တကယ်ကိုယ့်ကိုတောက်ချင်လို့တောက်တယ်ဒါပေမဲ့ you trying to rationalize that I drink alcohol because I'm going through a heartbreak so yeah ဟုတ်ပြီနော် and then another one is fantasy ဆိုတာအရန်ကိုစိတ်ကူးရင်ကဘာထဲမှာပဲရအောင်နေရ right and also another one is projection. So what is the meaning of projection? Well, when it's like your projection is like the process of displacing one's feelings onto a different person, animal, or object. And it's like projections that Google psychological projection is it would just say you're သူများရဲ့ကဘာတဲ့ကွာဝင်ရောက်ပြီးတော့စဉ်းစားနေအရန်ကိုဥပမာဖြင့်ကိုရီးယားကကြည့်ကိုရီးယားကကြည့်လို့ရှိရင် you're like အဲ့ကိုရီးယားကရဲ့မင်းသမီးနေရာနေပြီးတော့မင်းသားနမ်းလိုက်ပြီဆိုရင်အရန်ကို like you feel so elated elated ဆိုအရန်ပျော်ရွှင်တယ် so that is called projection a psychological fact ပေါ့နော်အဲ့ဒါကို projection လို့ခေါ်တယ်ဟုတ်ပြီနော် and that is and also another one is also overcompensation so what is the meaning of overcompensation so it's like အရန်ကိုဟိုပါပေါ့နော်အဲ့စိတ်ခံစားချက်တခုအရန်ကိုနစ်မြုပ်ပြီးတော့ဝင်နေတာဥမာဖြင့် like ကိုတိမ်ငယ်မှုတွေကိုအပြစ်တွေအရန်ဖြစ်နေပြီငါဘာမှမဟုတ်ပဲနဲ့ကိုအရန်အပြစ်ရှိရလို့ခံစားရရတယ်နောက်တစ်ခုကငါကခေါင်းဆောင်ကောင်းဖြစ်ဖို့မထိုက်တန်ဘူးငါခေါင်းဆောင်ကောင်းဖြစ်လို့မရဘူးဆိုပြီးတော့အရန်ကို like overcompensation ဥမာဖြစ်တယောက်ကကိုကတခုခုလေးအမှားလုပ်လိုက်တာနဲ့ကိုငါကခေါင်းဆောင်ကောင်းတစ်ယောက်ဖြစ်ပြီးတော့ဒီလိုလေးအမှားလေးလုပ်လိုက်ရတာလားဆိုပြီးတော့ကိုအရန်ကိုပြောမယ်ခံစားကြေကွဲဝမ်းနဲ့ပလက်အဲ့ဟာ excessive overcompensation ကိုခေါ်တယ်ဟုတ်ပြီနော်နောက်တစ်ခုကကျတော့ conversion okay well conversion solution တော့there is also like တခုနဲ့တခုပြောင်းလဲတဲ့အရာကိုပြောလို့ရတယ် conversion ဟိုဒီနေရာမှာဆိုလို့ရှိရင် conversion example မှာနော်So, I'm going to explain it to you in another way, which is you are converting yourself into, I'm going to write it down for you. So it's like, it's like conversion is like you are thinking that it's something to do with something to do with ကိုယ့်ရဲ့ logical thinking ပေါ့ကိုယ့်ရဲ့စဉ်းစားရတဲ့ဟာနဲ့ဆိုင်တယ် conversion မှာဆိုရင်ဥမာဖြင့်ဒီခွက်တစ်ခုတွေကနေပြီးတော့နောက်ခွက်တစ်ခုတည်းကိုရေထည့်လိုက်တယ်နော်ရေထည့်လိုက်တယ်ဆိုရင်ခွက်ကပုံစံကတော့မပြောင်းသွားဘူးလေ sorry ခွက်ပုံစံပြောင်းသွားတယ်ဒါပေမဲ့ရေကတော့မပြောင်းသွားဘူးလေ right အဲ့ဒါကို conservation လို့ခေါ်တယ် so it's like လူတယောက်နေတော့စဉ်းစားမယ်ဆိုရင်တော့ဒါကဘယ်လိုပဲဖြစ်နေပုံမှန်ကပြောင်းသွားမှာမဟုတ်ဘူးရေကတော့ပြောင်းသွားမှာမဟုတ်ဘူး can think so သူ့ရဲ့ thinking ကတော့မပြောင်းဘူးဒါပေမဲ့ဘေးနားက influence ကတော့ပြောင်းသွားဘေးနားကအရာကပစ္စည်းတွေကတော့ပြောင်းသွားတယ်အဲ့ဒါကို conversion လို့ခေါ်တယ် sorry yeah conversion and then the next one is identification ဒါကတော့နောက်ထပ်သူများနဲ့ပုံစံထပ်တူလိုမျိုးခံစားရတဲ့အထာမျိုးတွေနောက်တစ်ခု another one is like regression is like it's another type of feeling towards someone သူကကိုယ့်ရဲ့စိတ်နဲ့ပိုင်းနဲ့ဆိုင်ရပြီးတော့မကောင်းတဲ့ feeling ဖြစ်တဲ့အရာမျိုး it's also another regression and also emotional insulation reactional formation displacement ritualistic behavior negativism right ဒီဟာကိုနောက်ပိုင်းမှာအများကြီးသွားမှာဖြစ်တယ်ပေါ့နော်ဒါကိုတစ်ခုချင်းစီပြောသွားမှာဖြစ်တယ်ဆိုတော့ဒါကိုကြော်လိုက်မယ်ပေါ့နော်အခုဆိုတနားရီတောင်ရှိရမယ်ဆိုတော့ okay အခု okay right so ကျွန်တော်ခုနကတခုချင်းစီပြန်သွားမယ် notes နဲ့သွားမယ်ပေါ့နော် example နဲ့ပါပေးမယ်ပေါ့နော် okay ခုနအချိန်ဟိုမှာမဖြစ်သွားမှာဆိုလို့ okay cool အဲ့ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်နောက်တစ်ခုသွားမယ်ပေါ့နော်so နောက်တစ်ခုပေါ့နော်ဒီဟာနဲ့ဆိုပထမအဆုံးမှာ denial of reality ပထမအဆုံးပြန်စမယ်ဆိုအဲ့ဒီဟာ example ပေးမယ်ဆိုလို့ရှိရင် denial of reality so well it's a smoker would say that well the evidence linking cigarette use to health problems is not scientifically accurate so which is denial of reality so ကိုယ့်ရဲ့ဒီဖြစ်ချင်းတကယ်ဖြစ်နေတဲ့အရာကိုညင်းဆိုတာ denial of reality ဥမာဖြစ်စိတ်လေးသက်တောက်တဲ့သူတယောက်ကစိတ်လေးတောက်ခြင်းကကျန်းမာရေးကိုထိခိုက်နိုင်နေဆိုတာကဓာတ်ရိုက်ကြီး တိုက်ရိုက်ကြီးเนาะသူတည်တနာအရာပြောနေတာမဟုတ်ဘူးဘာကြောင့်လဲဆိုတော့ဆေးလိမ့်မတောက်ပေးနေလေကင်ဆာဖြစ်နေ lung cancer ဖြစ်နေသူရှိတာပဲလို့သူကဆိုကောင်းဆိုနိုင်တယ်ဟုတ်ပြီနော် that is called denial of reality so Hunaga solution another one repression examples so I'm going to give this example to you repression example ပေါ့နော် repression repression so repression example it's like as I was saying is trying to force someone to do something so this is the example that I just give it to you it's like a subordinate forgets to tell his supervisor the circumstances of an embarrassing situations so it's trying to force someone so the next one is rationalization well okay wait okay the next one is rationalization I'm gonna post it from I cannot post from there okay So rationalization is something trying to justify. Kuna justify လုပ်တဲ့အရာဖြစ်တယ် rationalization trying to သူကတစ်ခုခုကို like ငါတစ်ခုခုခုနပြောသွားသလို like trying to ခုနပြောပြသွားနော် share alcohol တောက်တာကငါအသေးကွဲလို့တောက်တာပါဆိုပြီးတော့ trying to rationalize ဒါပေမဲ့ဒီဟာ it seems not correct ဟုတ်ပြီနော် okay there is also another example that I'm going to give it to you it's like this why I can't type from here? Do you need type froze pin? So that is the rationalization. Okay, so the next one is fantasy, and we talked about it, which is daydreaming and projection. We talked about it. And also another one is overcompensations. And the last one is conversion. Okay, right. Okay, so so regression so let's talk about identification. Well, so let's talk about identification in English. So what is identification? So a person tried to raise his own self-esteem by patterning his behavior after the behavior of another person, often his boss. So the person may accept which says his boss's values and beliefs and even vicariously share his boss's victories and defeats. So example, I would just for instance, the assistant takes on the vocabulary, mannerisms, or even pomposity of his boss. So the child ရောက်ပြီးပုံစံအတိုင်းလိုက်ပြီးတော့အတူခေါ်တာ yeah အဲ့ဒါကို identification အဲ့ဒါကလည်းစိတ်ယောဂတစ်မျိုးပဲဟုတ်ပြီနော် so တချို့ဆိုရင် celebrity ရဲ့ပုံစံမျိုးကိုလိုက်ပြီးတော့အတူခေါ်တာအဲ celebrity ကို idol ထားတဲ့လူတစ်ယောက်ကို yeah? So it's gonna give this sample sentence example for you identification. Oh, what's that? What was I writing? Okay, so this is about identification. I-D-E-N-T-I. If I say A-T-I-O-N, identification. Yeah, so just posted it for you and pin it. Okay, and also another one is regression. Well, regression is a person returns to reaction patterns he has long since outgrown. Well, for instance, a manager blocked from some highly visible project and busies himself with clerical duties or technical details. Okay, so regression. So it's a person returns to reaction patterns he has long since outgrown. Okay, gonna post this example for you. All right. Okay. So it's like this. I'm gonna, okay. So example. All right. I just posted it for you. Is it there? All right. Okay, cool. Right. So here it is. Okay. Yeah. So pin it for you. So the next one is emotional insulation. So what is the meaning of emotional installations? Which is a kind of another characteristics of this defense mechanisms, which is include resignation, apathy, and boredom. Well, the individuals which breaks emotional involvement with the environment, and he would draw back from any emotional or personal involvement. So, for instance, an employee receiving no reward, praise. So I'm going to give this example to you. Emotional insulation. Just pen it for you. Okay, so the next one is reaction formation. So what is the meaning of reaction formation? The individual suppresses his real thoughts and attitudes, the ones which are unacceptable, the ones which are not proving by his group, and vigorously supports the opposite attitudes, which ones which are acceptable in his group. So, for instance, well, an employee who has not been promoted overdoes the defense of his boss, vigorously upholding the company's policies. So this is the one for this reaction formation. METRON reaction formation. Here it is. So it's like emotion. Another one is reaction formation. Is that like if let's say a employee တယောက်ကပေါ့နော်သူကပြောမြန်မာလိုပြောမယ်ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ခုန example ပေးတဲ့ဟာဆိုသူကယာတုမတက်တဲ့အတွက်ကြောင့်သူကဒီ company တစ်ခုရဲ့မူဝါဒတွေနော်ချမှတ်ထားတဲ့အရာတွေသူကပြင်းပြင်းထန်ထန်သူကလိုက်နာတယ်နာခံတယ်ပြီးတော့သူ့ရဲ့ဒီအထက်အရာရှိပေါ့နော်သူရဲ့ superior မြန်မာလိုပြောမယ်ဆိုရင်သူ boss ဆိုရင်သူ superior ပေါ့သူ superior ရဲ့company superior ကနေပြီးတော့ superior ရဲ့အထက်ဒီ superior ကဒီအရန်ကိုခုခံကာကွယ်တဲ့အရာတွေကိုသူကsuperior ကလှုပ်ဆိုလှုပ်အကုန်လိုက်လှုပ်ပေးတာသူကဘာလို့သူကအရန်ယာရုတက်ချင်လို့ဆိုတော့အဲ့ဒီအရာကိုပြောတာဖြစ်တယ်ဟုတ်ပြီနော် rigorously upholding the company's policy rigorously ဆိုတာမြန်မာလိုဆိုပြင်းပြင်းထန်ထန် upholding ဆိုတာလုံးဝ like ခုခံထားတယ်၊ကင်ဆွဲထားတယ်၊ယူဆောင်ထားတယ်မြန်မာလိုဆိုရင်အဲ့ဒါကိုသူကအလွန်အကျွံကိုသူကကာကွယ်တယ်ဘာလို့ဆိုတော့ boss ရဲ့ favor အရန်လိုချင်တဲ့အတွက်ကြောင့်နော်သူကအဲ့ဒါဒါ reaction အဲ့ဒါအလွန်အကျွံဖြစ်တဲ့စိတ်ပိုင်းဆိုင်ရာတွေမှန်သမျှကိုပုံပြောပြရနော် Okay, next one is displacement. Okay, displacement. What is displacement? So, which is an individual can direct impulses at the appropriate target. Therefore, he directs his impulses at a substitute target. So, for instance, a person has many frustrations at work and really feels angry with his co-workers, but he has no position to tell them how furious he is. So he comes home and launches a verbal tirade at his wife and his children. So displacement ဆိုမြန်မာလို့ဆိုရှင်တော့သူတခုခုနေရာမှာသူကစိတ်ဆိုးနေအရာကိုသူကအဲ့နေရာမှာစိတ်ဆိုးခွင့်မရှိဘဲနဲ့မရှိတဲ့အတွက်ကြောင့်သူကအဲ့စိတ်ဆိုးခြင်းနဲ့ပောက်ကွဲခြင်းတဲ့အရာကိုတနေရာမှာပောက်ကွဲတာအဲ့ဒါကို displacement ဒါကမှားတယ်ဒါကြောင့် example ခုနပေးထားအရာဆိုလို့ရှိရင်အဲ့လူကသူ့အလုပ်မှာပတ်သက်ပြီးသူကဒေါသထွက်စရာကြီးစိတ်တူစရာကြီးရှိတယ်အဲ့ဒါကိုသူ့ co-workers တွေကိုသူကပြောလို့မရတဲ့အခါမှာအိမ်ပြန်လာတော့သူ့ရဲ့အမျိုးသမီးနဲ့သူ့ရဲ့ကလေးတွေကိုအော်ငေါက်တယ်အဲ့ဒါကို displacement လို့ခေါ်တယ် This is also another type of mental issue ဒါကလည်းစိတ်ပိုင်းဆိုင်ရာနဲ့ပတ်သက်တဲ့ပြဿနာတစ်ခုပဲဖြစ်တယ်ဟုတ်ပြီနော်အဲ့ဒါကို displacement လို့ခေါ်တယ် Okay, so I'm going to give you this example. So, which is displacement. You can have a look later on. You can read more articles based on this. So, put it for you. So, there is a word that you see, right? Verbal tirade. That is called what? No, net. Verbal tirade. Verbal tirade. Okay, cool. So nearly 50 minutes as I've been explaining. So the next one is ritualistic behavior. So what is the meaning of ritualistic behavior? Well, something to do with ritual, of course. Some little act performed by the individual will magically, he thinks, he can make things turn out all right at one instant. Well, for instance, a teenager who feels guilty about something he continually does, by which he knows is wrong, may touch door knobs a certain number of times each time after he commits this action. Or a baseball player may cross himself each time he comes to bat. So ritualistic behavior ဆိုတဲ့အဓိပ္ပာယ်ကတော့သူဘာပဲလုပ်တစ်ခုခုလုပ်တဲ့ဟာကတော့အကုန်လုံးအမြဲတမ်းအမှန်ပဲဖြစ်သွားမယ်သူလုပ်တဲ့ action တွေအကုန်လုံးကအမြဲတမ်းမှန်တယ်ဆိုတဲ့ဟာကိုသူကဖြစ်တဲ့အရာအဲ့တော့ဒါကြောင့် ritual ဆိုတာကဒါကပုံမှန်ဖြစ်တဲ့အရာ tradition အဲဒါဆိုတော့ခဏပုံမှန်ဖြစ်နေဖြစ်ထားရှိတဲ့အရာအဲ့ဒါကို ritualistic behavior ဆိုတော့သူလုပ်သမျှအရာသူ perform လုပ်တဲ့အရာအကုန်လုံးကအလုံးမှန်မယ်ဆိုတဲ့ပုံစံမျိုးကိုပြောတာဖြစ်တယ်ဟုတ်ပြီနော် so it's like this is an example that I just told you I would just write it down for you so that you can read it back ritualistic V-I-O-U-R, ritualistic behavior. So a teenager who feels guilty about something and he conditionally does, but he knows it's wrong, may touch doorknobs a certain number of times each time after he commits this action. So he would just continually doing the same thing because he thinks this action is correct and this is correct. And whatever he does is correct. So pin it for you. Okay, so the last one would be negativism. Well, it's of course as if it is negativisms, an individual actively or passively resists ideas without consciously realizing he is doing so. So negativism is like သူကသူ့ရဲ့ action သူ့ရဲ့ behavior သူပြောတဲ့အရာတွေကသူကအတင်းကိုညင်းတော့တာပဲအတင်းကိုသူကသူသိရသားနဲ့ကိုအတင်းကိုသူဒါကမဟုတ်ဘူးပဲသူကအတင်းကိုညင်းတော့တာပဲဘာကြောင့်လဲဆိုတော့ it's like being negative ဖြစ်နေတဲ့အတွက်ကြောင့်ဟုတ်ပြီနော် even though he knows he consciously knows what he is doing. So for instance, a manager has been unsuccessful in being excused from a comedy assignment. So at that comedy meeting he picks apart every suggestion that anyone makes. So the ဥပမာဖြင့် manager တယောက်ကသူကအဲ့ဒီ comedy meeting တစ်ခုသူမတက်ချင်ဘူး comedy assignment တစ်ခုသူလုပ်ရမှာသူမလုပ်ချင်ဘူးအဲ့အတွက်ကြောင့်အဲ့ဒီ comedy meeting မှာအဲ့ဒီ comedy နဲ့ပတ်သက်တဲ့ပြောလာတဲ့အကြံဉာဏ်တွေအကုန်လုံးကိုသူကနော်လုံးဝဘာတော့မှသဘောမတူဘူးဘသူဘာပြောပြောဘယ်လိုပဲဖြစ်အကုန်လုံးဘူးလုံးဝမကြိုက်ဘူးမဖြစ်နိုင်ဘူးမသိဘူးဆိုတဲ့ဟာနဲ့ပဲသူကပြောတယ်ဥပမာဖြင့်ကိုလည်း negativism ဖြစ်တဲ့အချိန်ကြီးရှိတယ်တခါတရံမှာကိုကစာတပုတ်ကိုဖတ်တဲ့အခါမှာကိုကတကယ်တော့ကိုယ်နှလုံးသားကိုကိုကပိတ်ထားတယ်ကိုနားလည်လို့နားလည်နိုင်တယ်ဒါပေမဲ့ကိုယ်နှလုံးသားကိုပိတ်ထားတယ်လုံးဝဘူးပဲခံနေပြောချင်တာ negativism ဖြစ်တဲ့ကြောင့်မတွက်နိုင်ဘူးဒီသင်္ချာတပုတ်လည်းမတွက်နိုင်ဘူးဒီစာလည်းမဖတ်နိုင်ဘူးဘာကြောင့်နားမလဲဘူးဒါဘယ်လိုဖတ်ဖတ်နားမလဲဘူးနားမလဲဘူးနားမလဲဘူးနားမလဲဘူးဖြစ်တဲ့ကြောင့်တကယ်နားမလဲတော့တကယ်တော့အဲ့ဒါကတကယ်နားမလဲနေတာမဟုတ် you are just putting yourself into your thoughts with your your psychological mindset has been wired and has been turned into being negative that oh nothing will be possible that is called negativism. Okay, so I just elaborated in explaining what is the negativism, and this is an example that I just I'm going to write it down for you so that you would have T I negativism. So here it is. I just pinned it for you. Okay, I'm gonna pin it for you. All right, so just pin it for you. So these are the more specific defense mechanisms that we just talked about. Well, we're going to end with this topic, and then after this topic, well, okay, now let's talk about neurotic and psychotic behavior. Neurotic so has something to do with your neuro brain နဲ့ဆိုင်တာကိုယ့်ရဲ့အုံနောက်နဲ့ဆိုင်တဲ့အရာဆိုတော့ neurotic and psychotic ဆိုစိတ်ပိုင်းဆိုင်တဲ့ behavior နဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးပြောပြီးသွားလို့ရှိရင်ဒီနေ့သင်ကြားခြင်းကိုneurotic and psychotic behavior. So what is this neurotic and psychotic behavior? Well, as I was saying, neurotic is something to do with your neuro, which is your neurodevelopment. Neuro means something to do with your brain, and psychotic is something to do with your mind. Okay, here it is. I'm going to post it. I just pinned it for you. Right. Okay, so well, what is the meaning of this word neurotic? Well, the word neurosis it can be defined as emotional maladjustments which damage the individual's ability to think and make proper judgments, but which cause minimal loss of contact with reality. And the behavior of such a person is termed neurotic behavior. Well, that is the definition. well, if a person exhibiting a neurotic behavior, the usual ways of coping with daily living are proving inadequate, and which is the person is relying more and more on extreme defensive reactions. And these defense reactions may help temporarily, but in the long run, they are unsatisfactory. So, which is the exhibiting neurotic behavior. Okay, so now let's continue to talk about extreme defensive reactions. Now we're gonna there are many types of neurotics and psychotic behavior, types of neurotic and psychotic behaviors, and well, the types of neurosis. Well, we're gonna uh, let's look at this, and I'm gonna explain some of them in the next lecture. Okay. Well, I'm gonna write it down for you. These are the things that, as let's say, if you have been taught in the classroom lecture, this is the things that you will be seeing on my PowerPoint slides. So these are the types of neurosis which going to cover in this next lesson, which is anxiety neurosis, hysterical neurosis, phobic neurosis. I just posted it for you, and depressive neurosis, psychotic behavior, alcoholic psychosis, acute alcoholic hallucinosis, pathological intoxications, delirium tremens, depressive neurosis, acute fear, drugs and poison intoxication, fever infection, and cerebral infections. So these are the types of neurosis which we're going to cover in the next lessons. Well, you can search in Google as well. Well, but we're going to go details in the next class. Well, now I'm going to give you two more things for the first one. For let's start with the first one, which is um, anxiety neurosis. What is the meaning of anxiety neurosis and how it affects the individual? Well, let's say if a person or individual suffering from anxiety neurosis has exaggerated and controllable anxiety and apprehension. And anxiety disorders are fairly common in our society. Well, roughly 2 to 4% of the population has been diagnosed at one time or another as having some type of anxiety disorder. Well, anxiety neurosis လို့ပြောမယ်ဆိုမြန်မာလေးဆိုလို့ရှိရင်သူကသူ့ရဲ့ဒီစိုးရိမ်ပူပန်ခြင်းဟာသူများတဲ့အရန်လွန်ခဲ့တာလုံးဝကိုထိမ့်ချုပ်လို့မရအောင်အဲ့ဒါကို anxiety neurosis လို့ပြောတယ်ဒါက brain နဲ့အများကြီးသက်ဆိုင်တာဖြစ်တယ်။အုံနောက်ကမထိန်ချုပ်နိုင်ခြင်းဖြစ်တယ်။ So what are the signs and symptoms ဒါရဲ့လက္ခဏာတွေကပါလဲ။ So ခုနကပြောပြတဲ့ဟာတစ်ခုရှိတယ် and then these are the signs and symptoms of anxiety neurosis include a rather constant state of tension, worry or general uneasiness အဲ့လိုလူကအမြဲတမ်းလို့သူကစိတ်ပူနေတတ်တယ်အမြဲတမ်း tension များတယ်နောက်တစ်ခုကအမြဲတမ်းနေမထိထိုင်တာအမြဲဖြစ်နေတယ် so well, such individuals are often oversensitive in people to people relationships and frequently have feelings of inadequacy and depression အဲ့တော့ anxiety neurosis ရှိတဲ့သူတွေတော်တော်များကသူကဒီလူချင်း relationship တွေမှာဆိုလို့ရှိရင်အရန်ကိုသူကအရက် sensitive ဖြစ်တယ်ဖြစ်ပြီးတဲ့အခါမှာဆိုလို့ရှိရင် तू ကလူတွေနဲ့ပြောဆိုဆက်ဆံတဲ့အခါမှာအော်သူ့ကို तू ကဘောနော်ဟိုမလုံလောက်နေဘူးသူ့ကို तू အားငယ်တယ်နောက်ပြီးတော့သူ့ကို तू အမြဲတမ်းလိုအားငယ်နေတယ်အဲ့ဒါခဏတစ်ခါလေးအားငယ်တာ is not a big deal not a big deal if you sometimes encounter or you have strike on with some inferiority complex or inadequacy that's fine တစ်ခါလေးဖြစ်တာကိစ္စမရှိဘူး but for depression or inadequacy မှာအဲ့ဒါကအမြဲလိုဖြစ်နေရဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ဒီဟာဒီ anxiety neurosis ကြောင့်ဖြစ်နိုင်တယ်ဟုတ်ပြီနော် okay so the first one ချက်ခုနပြောသွားတဲ့အချက်ကတော့anxiety neurosis ရဲ့ notes လေးကိုတစ်ချက်ပေးလိုက်ပါမယ် okay anxiety neurosis so here it is So that is the anxiety neurosis. Just give it to you. Well, we still left with lots of types of um, neurosis. Well, we're going to cover in the next lecture. ဒီချေတို့အခုပထမအဆုံးပြောလိုက်တယ်အကြတော့အများကြီးရှိသေးတယ် ပထမအဆုံးတစ်ခုပဲတစ်ချက်ပြောလိုက်တယ်အဲ့ဒါကတော့ anxiety neurosis ဆိုပြီးတော့ပြောလိုက်တယ် next week မှာဆိုရင် we'll talk about hysterical neurosis, phobic neurosis, depressive neurosis. We're going to talk about yeah, and also psychotic behavior, alcoholic psychosis, acute alcoholic hallucinosis, and pathological intoxication, and delirium tremens, and also depressive neurosis and acute fear. အဲ့ဒါတွေကို next week lecture မှာကျွန်တော်တို့ပြောမှာဖြစ်တယ် Sunday next week lecture ဒီဟာကိုပဲဆက်ပြီးတော့သွားမှာဖြစ်တယ် okay เนาะအဲ့တော့ဆက်ပြီးသွားမှာဖြစ်တယ် we're going to continue with the same module I mean the same subject the same topic but we're going to talk more on these behaviors, and also next week we're going to talk more on other burnout and depression, and yeah, and then we're gonna after this we're gonna have some test. Okay, ဒီ share အခုဒီဟာကိုနောက်တစ်ပတ်မှာ lecture ထပ်ပြီးသွားတဲ့အခါမှာဆိုလို့ရှိရင် share တို့ဒီမှာ test လေးချက်ရှိမယ် test လေးကိုချက်အင်္ဂလိပ်လိုတော့ပြောမှာဖြစ်တယ်ရေးမှာဖြစ်တယ်ဒါပေမဲ့အတူတူဖြေမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်လို့ဟုတ်ပြီနော် test လေးလုပ်မယ်အဲဆိုတော့အဲ့ဒါဆိုလို့ရှိရင် share တို့ဒီ mental studies နဲ့ပတ်သက်တဲ့အရာလေးပေါ့ share ခုပြောပြသွားတဲ့အရာကတော့ is like part of the lectures ဒီအားလုံးရဲ့ဒီ courses အားလုံးရဲ့ some of the parts တခုအစိတ်ပိုင်းလောက်ပဲဖြစ်တဲ့အကြောင်းဒါက certificate level လောက်ပဲဖြစ်လိမ့်မယ် okay not the whole degree အားလုံးအတွက်တော့မဟုတ်ဘူး okay yeah all right so I hope you learned something okay yeah right so see you next week and again thank you so much for staring at me for an hour and thank you so much for learning with me and thank you for your trust in me and I really appreciate your efforts putting in here for an hour yeah thank you so much and once again God bless you profusely in every aspect of your life and God loves you so much too and have a lovely night and have a blessed night see you next week bye